Hi there, this is Ranjit and I have this Eureka with me, and in this video we'll be doing the camera review for this device. And this Eureka has a 13 megapixel rear facing camera with LED flash, whereas the front facing camera is a 5 megapixel shooter. In terms of video, the rear facing camera can record up to 1080p, that's full HD, but the front facing camera can record up to 720p HD. And I've taken a lot of sample shots and videos with both the front and the rear facing camera. But before I show you those sample shots, let's quickly look at the camera interface of this device. And if you look at it, it looks very Spartan like this. And yes, it's a very simple interface. You get that tap to focus, and it takes a second to focus, but once it does it, it takes the shots actually very quickly, if you notice. And here are the further settings that you get with this device. One thing to note is that by default it will be at 4:3 ratio at 13 megapixel, but if you want to go to widescreen, then it goes all the way down to just 2.1 megapixel, which is sort of a disappointment, because many other cameras which have a 13 megapixel shooter in widescreen in 16:9, it can take at 9 or 10 megapixel. So you got to be aware of that. And here are the other settings that we have, and it also has face detection, and touch focus can also be enabled or disabled. But the other good things with the camera is that you can have a lot of manual control over it. You can adjust the ISO exposure, and we also have the anti-banding. If we go to the video, as you can see, we can set the video to all these modes. The max is 1080p, and we can also change the audio and the video codecs if you would like, for example from MPEG-4 to H.264. And so these were the settings, and these are the general settings that you have. So as this Eureka runs CyanogenMod, we have a lot of options in the camera department. And as I mentioned, it takes the snaps also pretty quickly like this. And now let me actually show you the sample shots that I have taken with this device. In fact, I have taken a lot of pictures in varying light conditions. So let me show you all these shots in the full screen mode so that you can determine the quality of the camera. These were shot with the rear facing camera of the Eureka at 13 megapixel, and as you can see, in outdoor lighting conditions it performs pretty well. Even the dynamic contrast is very good. The dynamic range is pretty good with this camera, and the colors seem to be pretty accurate. And overall, I would say the pictures that you take outdoors have pretty good detail also. Also in terms of sharpness, the pictures are pretty sharp. As you can see, now if I zoom in also, the picture is pretty sharp. I'm recording this video with the Eureka at the highest setting possible, that is 1080p, and the audio is also being recorded by the internal microphone. There might be a lot of wind noise because it's a very windy day today, as you can see. And we have the tap to focus available even in the video mode. And this is my roof garden, and I'm going to slowly pan now, and I'm doing this handheld. Let's move closer to an object like this, and I'll use the tap to focus, and looks like it's in focus. You be a judge and let me know what do you feel about the video quality. And it's been recording at 1080p, that's full HD. Now I'll just walk back normally, and it's a bright sunny day today. So this should give you an idea about the video recording with this Eureka outdoors on a sunny day. Now if we move to semi-indoor conditions, here also it does a decent job in my opinion, but sometimes it does tend to struggle up a little bit. As you can see, this picture is a little bit soft to my liking, and this one also did not come out that sharp. This is also taken in artificial light. Here I enabled the flash. Now these pictures were shot in completely artificial lighting in my office, and I would say for the most part it does an okay job, but sometimes the pictures are not that sharp. If you notice here, it did not fire the flash, but here I enabled the flash manually and it was a lot sharper picture. The camera is also sharp at picking out details. As you can see, I took a picture of this paper, and even if you zoom in, you have text that is legible. Even close-up macro shots have good detail. Now these pictures were shot with the front facing camera of the Eureka, which is a 5 megapixel shooter, and I feel it did a good job. Now I'm recording this part of the video with the front facing camera of this Eureka, and this is in my office, and this is in completely artificial lighting. As you can see, I'm now against the light. But as you can see, I feel it's doing a fairly good job even with the front facing camera and artificial lighting conditions. So this will be helpful for people who do Skype calls, video chats, etc. Now I'm recording this part of the video with the front facing camera of the Eureka, and I'm recording this in outdoor lighting conditions. But do note that for the front facing camera it records at 720p, not at 1080p. So this should give you an idea about the video recording with the Eureka's front facing camera in outdoor lighting conditions. So what do I feel about the camera on this Eureka? Let's first talk about the rear facing camera. As you have seen from the sample shots, the rear facing camera is actually pretty good, and in outdoor lighting conditions and semi-indoor conditions, I would say it does very good job. But if the lighting is pretty low and some artificial lighting conditions, the camera does tend to struggle up a little bit. And I've noticed that you got to be careful in low lighting conditions and in artificial light. Otherwise, the shots can come out to be a little bit blurry. Another thing I noticed is that the flash is not that aggressive. In some low lighting areas, I was getting some blurred shots, but when I manually enabled the flash, it came out pretty decent. So you got to be aware of that. Now when we move to the video department regarding the rear facing camera, I was not impressed at all. Though it can record at 1080p, the video quality was not that great. I would say the video quality was very soft. When we were actually moving, it does take a lot of time to focus, and that was the issue with the 1080p video recording with this device. Now if we move to the front facing camera, which is a 5 megapixel shooter, I would say the front facing camera quality is very good. The selfie shots that you can take are very good, and even the videos, I would say the 720p videos, the front facing camera records video at 720p, were also pretty good. So for video calls and selfies, I would say the front facing camera is actually pretty good. So I would say the camera performance is pretty decent considering the price point. I would say this device is selling in India just for 9,000 bucks. That's almost just US $150. For that price point, I would say the camera performance is pretty good. But again, I was slightly disappointed with the video quality that I was getting with this device. I've also posted several other videos on this Eureka, so make sure you check them out. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit.